And welcome back to my channel, The Art of Words. Now, today we are going to explore a poem called The Saddest Noise, the Sweetest Noise. It's the literal first stanza's line, first line, I mean, and Emily Dickinson, the poetess, she never gave like titles to the poem, and they were known by numbers. So, in this poem, we also see the use of paradoxes, right? Life, death, presence, absence, beauty, pain, all these contradictions that are like the essence of poetry we see in Emily's writing. Emily's poetry, we see these things present in there. And similarly, we are able to see them in this poem also. She is bringing all these contradictions together and through something as ordinary as a bird song. So, the poem, when it begins, we see a question being asked. How can the same sound be both sweetest, saddest, and also maddening, that is, maddest? As we move through the poem, we get the answer, right? That the answer lies in memory. The spring bird song, it is awakening the memories of the dead. And it's being transformed into a moment of natural beauty. And this natural beauty is giving us an experience of profound grief that the poet must have experienced when she was writing this. Now we will look like at all the stanzas and we will understand them. So the first stanza, the saddest noise, the sweetest noise, the maddest noise that grows. The birds they make it in the spring, at night's delicious close. So the poem is beginning with a striking paradox. We see Dickinson calls the same sound, right? We know in the third line that it's the sound of a bird. Some bird is singing. But before that, we see the word noise. Noise is being repeated three times. Saddest, sweetest, maddest. So it's the same sound and it is giving these three different kind of emotions. So these three adjectives, they're establishing the poem's emotional complexity. The bird song, right? The bird song is beautiful, but its beauty is causing an emotional pain and its increasing intensity is almost unbearable. We see the word noise, right? It's a very important word. Dickinson does not simply call the bird song music or song. She could have used that here, but she has used noise. So, noise suggests something overwhelming, something that is uncontrollable, right? The words, they're continuously singing and the sound is growing, the maddest noise that grows. It's a sad noise, it's a sweet noise, and yet again it's a mad noise. And that noise is growing, becoming increasingly powerful. So, only after describing the noise that it is sad, sweet, mad, all at the same time, she then says what the source is, the birds singing in spring. There are birds, it's springtime, they're singing in there. So the phrase, night's delicious close, right? It's referring a transition. We can understand when the night is coming to a close, it refers daybreak, right? The use of the word delicious, it's giving a sense of sensual pleasure, almost a heavenly quality. The birds are singing at the beautiful threshold when darkness is ending and a new day is beginning. Thus, this stanza is establishing the poet's or the poem's like fundamental contradiction, right? A beautiful natural experience, but it is producing a painful emotional consequence, a emotional result. Now let's see the second stanza. Between the March and April line, that magical frontier beyond which summer hesitates, almost too heavenly near. Now Dickinson locates, right, the particular season, right? It's between March and April. She calls this particular boundary a magical frontier. A frontier, frontier is a boundary which is separating two territories. Now, here the magical frontier, it is separating two seasons from one another. But the word magical, it's transforming an ordinary change. We know it's just an ordinary change in the atmosphere, in the calendar. It's being like shown as something that is mysterious, something that is almost supernatural, something magical. Now, summer is hesitating. So, obviously, summer is being shown as a person. A personification is being done here. Summer is shown as a person, imagined as a person, standing just beyond the boundary, this boundary that we saw about March and April, and it's hesitating. That the person is hesitating to enter, and this is creating a sense of anticipation. Summer is almost present, but still has not quite arrived. So like this sentence, almost too heavenly near. It is intensifying this beautiful moment. The summer seems so close that it feels almost heavenly. But there is a deeper significance here that we find. The poem repeatedly places us like at boundaries. We are like seeing different boundaries. The night, it's ending, the morning is coming on. There is March and April's boundary, the spring and the summer, the two seasons, and the pleasure and the sorrow. We see previously in the previous stanza that the sound, it's both a sweet noise and a sad noise. It's giving pleasure, at the same time it's sorrowful. And ultimately, the focus on life and death. So the seasonal frontier, it's anticipating the poem's deeper concern. The deeper concern with the boundary between living and the dead. Now next stanza, the stanza number 3. It makes us think of all the dead that sauntered with us here, by separation's sorcery made cruelly more dear. Now, the emotional turning point has come. The bird song makes the speaker and also us, like look at the word, it makes us, not only her, but also us, even the readers, we all are thinking about the dead. The natural beauty of the spring is triggering the memories of people who are those people who are all dead. They are no longer alive, no longer with us. Then look at the word sauntered, right? Sauntered with us here. So it's a very like particularly important word. It suggests the people who used to walk with us, right? Like casually people walking, peacefully walking beside us, and now the dead, they are dead, right? So the dead were once ordinary companions to the living, and they shared everyday experiences. Now their absences makes these ordinary moments precious. We see separations sorcery. Sorcery, we know, is something magical, supernatural power. So death has a power as a magical, a mysterious power, a strange kind of a power, which makes the lost people more dear. It makes made cruelly more dear. So the people who are dead, they are becoming more dear to us when they are no longer alongside us. So when people are alive, their presence seems ordinary, right? We don't understand that someday might be a time might come when we won't be able to see that person. But till we are all at the same time present, like we are alive, we don't like think about it at all. Death or something that one day maybe we will wake up and not see that person. But when they are gone, right, their memory is the one that is transforming. The absence, the dead people's absence, it is intensifying the affection that we hold for them. So the paradox is extended. Death, increases love even while destroying the possibility of physical companionship, right? The poem is gradually connecting spring with death, and it is interpreting sauntered, right? Or we can rather interpret sauntered as something like suggesting relaxed companionship of people who once used to share the life with the speaker. The fourth stanza, it makes us think of what we had and what we now deplore. We almost wish those siren throats would go and sing no more. So the speaker now moves from the dead to the lost past. The bird song that was reminding us, right? It was reminding us of those people, is now reminding us of what we had. What did we have? Happiness with the people, relationships, companionship, and the experiences that existed before that loss happened. But those memories are now things that the speaker deplores, right? It's deploring because they cannot be recovered. The emotional contradiction becomes intense when we see the speaker say, "We almost wish those siren throats would go and sing no more." So the expression silent throats, what is it alluding to? The sirens of the Greek mythology, whose enchanting songs, like they were dangerously irresistible. Dickinson is applying this image to the particular birds who are singing during April and March, between like March and April. Their songs are beautiful, but they are also dangerous because they draw the speaker into painful memories. Now we have to notice the word almost. The speaker does not completely wish the birds that they would stop like singing. There is a hesitation in there. The bird song, it hurts, but it also preserves the connection with the past, the memories of the past. If the birds they will stop singing, the painful memories they might disappear, but so would the beautiful memories that are associated with the dead. So the grief, it's being presented as something that the person resists while also like cherishing. So the like pain is itself becoming evidence of love. Now let's focus on the last stanza. An ear can break a human heart as quickly as a spear. We wish the ear had not a heart so dangerously near. So the final stanza is giving the poem the most beautiful, powerful image. Dickinson is comparing the emotional pain that is being caused by the sound to a physical injury. There we see a simile. An ear can break a human heart as quickly as a spear, as a comparison. A spear can like physically wound a person, it can even kill. But the sound, the sound of the bird, it can emotionally wound the heart. So the remarkable point is that there is no physical wound here, though no physical violence. The birds are simply singing, yet the sound travels through the ear directly into the memory, directly into emotions. The final two lines that we see, we wish the ear had not a heart so dangerously near. It's the most striking paradox. Obviously, if seen anatomically, we can see that the ear does not literally have a heart, but metaphorically, it can. It is becoming the gateway to the heart. The ear is becoming the gateway to the heart. What we hear, it immediately awakens like our memories. It immediately awakens love, grief, longing, and loss, every emotion that is associated with that particular sound. The word dangerously is also important. Human sensitivity is presented as a gift and a vulnerability. The ability to respond deeply to beauty also means that we will get hurt deeply. So the poem is ending not with consolation. There is no consolation. We see an uncomfortable truth. We cannot separate perception from emotion. A simple sound can unlock an entire emotional history. So, if we will say, like, overall, the poem is ultimately like talking about a relationship, a beautiful yet bittersweet relationship, right? Between beauty, grief. The spring bird song is very beautiful, but for someone who has experienced loss, beauty can become a reminder of what has disappeared. Spring represents renewal, life, but in the speaker's thoughts, it is moving toward death and absence. We see a fascinating movement. We talk about nature, we then talk about sound. From that, we get the memories, and the memories then talk about death and the heart, right? Speaker is listening, or the speaker is hearing the bird song, and after hearing it, she gets the memories. She thinks about those lost companions. A sense of grief overcomes her, and the emotional pain is being heightened. So, Dickinson, in a way, shows that memory does not always arise deliberately. Sometimes a sound, a smell, even an image or a season can unexpectedly bring us back to those past. Make the past come back to us, right? Make us remember those people who we have lost. So the deepest paradox that we see here is not simply the poet's want of escape, right? She is not wanting to escape the painful memory. She says that she almost wants the birds to stop singing, right? But the grief is painful because the love was real. So to remove the grief entirely, if she makes the grief being removed, being stopped, it might also remove the connection with the dead. Now, overall, this was all about the poem. And so this overall poem, it's exploring the beauty of spring bird song and how it is becoming inseparable from grief because the sound is awakening the memory of the dead, revealing the same sensory experience that can be simultaneously pleasurable, painful, and emotionally dangerous. So, thank you for listening, and I hope you liked the video. And if there is any question, please comment down, like the video, subscribe, and thank you